If you're sitting there wondering if now is the right time to buy, or maybe you should wait just a bit longer, honestly, you're not alone. I'm hearing that from a lot of buyers right now because there's a lot of confusion and headlines in the news that are actually steering you the wrong direction. I'm boots on the ground here in the Sioux Falls area, and I can tell you that the data actually says that waiting could be costing you more than you think. I'm Julie Roth, a local realtor here in the Sioux Falls community, and I've been blessed to help over 300 families relocate, buy, and sell in the Sioux Falls area. And what I can tell you is that the data doesn't lie. So I put all of the information about the Q1 market update in the link in the description below. Make sure you check it out at the end of this video. Okay, so let me start with the thing I get asked about the most, which is interest rates. If you're sitting here waiting for rates to get back to 3%, as you wait, houses in Sioux Falls are not getting more affordable. We've actually seen over a 5% increase in home values over the last year. So I know some of you are going to want to sit and wait for that 3% rate to come back. I understand the feeling, but as you wait, keep in mind that the homes here in Sioux Falls will actually continue to appreciate. Over the last year, we've appreciated over 5%. And our average price here in the Sioux Falls market has increased up to $400,000. That's a big number because last year it was around $375,000. So every year that you wait, it's actually costing you money and options. I had a family recently that decided to put their home buying journey on pause last year. They came back into the office and met with a lender. Just 1 year later, with the interest rate changes, they actually could afford $40,000 more house for the same payment we were looking at last year. So not only did they have $40,000 more to spend, they also are coming in at a time where we could really negotiate with a seller. So we were able to put that interest rate savings along with a motivated seller and negotiate them an amazing deal on their upgrade of a house, and they couldn't be happier. That's why right now might be a great time for you and your family to get in touch with a lender and rerun the numbers. If you've been sitting on the sidelines, the interest rate drop has really made a great difference. And remember, you don't need the perfect rate. What you do need is a monthly payment that's affordable for you and your family. Here's what most people don't realize. In today's market, we actually have an opportunity not only to lock in a great rate, but also to negotiate. And when I say negotiate, I don't mean knocking off a couple $100 here or there. I'm talking about a substantial difference in your monthly payment or out-of-pocket costs. Right now in Sioux Falls, we have some inventory that's been sitting on the market for an average of about 110 days. 110 days doesn't seem like that long for you as the buyer, but honestly, for a seller, 100 days is a long time to be on the market to keep your house looking nice. So believe me when I say these sellers are normally ready to talk. On the new construction side of things, we're definitely seeing builders that still want to move inventory and are offering incentives, which can make a big difference too. So that combination of motivated sellers and lack of competition is actually really rare, and it opens up a great possibility for you as a buyer. But here's what I'm actually seeing in our market now. For the last 2 months, we've actually seen pending sales increase by over 140%. What that's telling me is that our slow market time of the December, January is definitely starting to shift. We're seeing more buyers coming into the market and taking advantage of the interest rates and the abundance of inventory. The buyers that are out there are buying, but we still don't have the crazy competition that we've seen in the past. I believe we have a short window here that you should take advantage of, because as we head into the spring market, I think we're going to see more buyers come off the sidelines and take advantage of those lower interest rates, which can equal more competition. So let's take advantage of the window of opportunity we're seeing. So I'm going to give you a real life example, and I don't say this to brag, but our team saved our clients over $170,000 just in the month of February. And all of that came from negotiating contracts. Now, we didn't necessarily take that all off of the purchase price because sometimes that's not the best option. We were able to negotiate $170,000 in seller concessions to be used towards closing costs, prepaid items, rate buy downs. And honestly, sometimes the rate buy down is a great option because it can substantially affect your monthly payment. Other clients of ours use the funds to be able to do upgrades to their home, including fences, blinds. The other clients have used it in order to bring less money to the closing table. So there's definitely options, and with all of that room for negotiation, we can talk about what the best strategy is for you based on the home, the days on the market, and what the seller situation is. What you want to keep in mind as you're looking at homes is that the price that you see online is not necessarily the price that you will pay. So having a great agent on your side who knows the market, understands what's going on, and really has good communication skills with that listing agent can really set you up for success and save you a load of money. So I know we've covered a lot of information and it might be a little overwhelming, but just know that that information doesn't come from just a feeling, it comes from the data. So let's jump into more of those data numbers. Where we're seeing the most action in our market is actually from the $230,000 to $330,000 price range. If you're in that price range, that beginner home, you definitely are going to see more competition and less inventory. So you better be ready to rock and roll when you have your pre-approval numbers and you've talked to a lender. So one more quick stat is that our median price is actually up about 5%, up to $336,000. And our average price, like I mentioned before, is up to $400,000. So waiting is not necessarily going to save you money. That's not me pressuring you. That's actually just honestly what we're seeing in the data. But if you're considering maybe not a single family home and you're in that budget, there are so many great townhouses, condos, and that sort of thing. So if you are thinking you'd be considering that option, there's definitely more options out there and a lot more negotiating power. So it's a completely different story from single family to townhouses. And boy, do I know spring is sneaking up on us. I am a fellow baseball mom and my kids are starting that season very soon. When we get to that point, life gets a little crazier and so does the spring market. So we have a short window of time before the true spring market takes effect where I think we can really work together to get you a great deal. So I know I covered a lot of information in this video, but hopefully you have a little more clarity and a little less fear when it comes to, is right now the right time to buy for you and your family? And honestly, recapping what we've really talked about, we're seeing a great window for buyers where interest rates are at about 5.75%. Inventory is going to steadily increase as we get into the spring market. We're still seeing buyers having a good amount of negotiating power in certain price ranges and in certain categories. And once you really run the numbers and have a good understanding of what they look like for you and your family, hopefully you'll have a little more clarity that if this is the right time for you to jump into the market, my recommendation would be to do it soon. And I know that the spring season is busy as we get closer into summer, so please reach out today if you want to book a one-on-one consultation to go over the numbers so that you have a better understanding of how we can help you and you can really choose whether it's the right time for you and your family to maybe move up into that next home, relocate to the Sioux Falls community, or maybe you're a first-time home buyer and all of this seems like a lot of information. I'm always here to chat. I hope that you guys took away some good info and some good stats from this market update video. Don't forget, I've got a link in the description with all of the important details below. And if you got some great information from this, please hit the like and subscribe button, and I hope to see you in the next video.